are about to get underway. Georgia wearing their road black uniforms. Florida State in the white. For the first time since December 1st, 42 years ago, Florida State and Georgia playing basketball. Silas Demary Jr. right now with the ball. Jalen DeLoach, whose brother is a very talented football player, got a big pick against Florida in the starting lineup for Georgia. And that is a crash to the floor on a defensive attempt. Noah Thomason, who has been really good the last couple of games, got it to fall, but my goodness, Jameer Watkins really took a hard fall.
Ball fake in the corner, get the defender up in the air. Landing on his left hip there was Watkins, but great inside action, inside out action early.
Florida State with a brand new player in the lineup, Darin Green, getting the nod over Cam Corrin, who broke a toe in their last game. So it's the first career start for Darin Green. Outside shot taken and missed for this Florida State team that is averaging 83 points per game.
One of the things I'm interested in tonight is rebound margin. There's a straight line drive. What a great start for Georgia. Make your first three and then follow it up with an easy deuce. Both of these teams, to follow up on my thought, negative rebound margins. So which team can be a little bit better on the glass?
Darin Green, number 22, gets it over to Watkins. He decides to take the three and hits it.
Not really known as a three-point shooter, just 4 for 14 on the season entering tonight.
Yeah, just 29% so far, but Watkins playing in his first year after a couple of years at Virginia Commonwealth. So many new faces really on both teams, particularly for Georgia. Mike White in his second year trying to right the ship. Good rebound as Watkins shows his athletic ability. Jameer, the co-ACC Player of the Week, had a double-double in the victory against Colorado to clinch the Sunshine Slam. There's the three-point shooter, Green, who missed it, but the tip-in by Green.
Yeah, second chance opportunities might be there for both teams. That shot's a little quick.
And a lot off the mark. Watkins playing a lot of the lead guard. Jalen Worley, point guard for this team, but you'll see the ball in Watkins' hand a lot. Baba Miller. Remember that name, right? Because a lot of people are excited about this young man.
There's 8 or 9 people here tonight that I know are very interested because we have pro scouts in the house.
A sophomore from Mallorca in Spain. His numbers won't jump off the stat sheet at you, but boy, you look at the athleticism, the body of that young man, and there's a lot in the future for Baba Miller.
Nice left side pass to the corner. Miller and using all of his 6'11". You can see why people are so excited with him, because he's got a basketball body.
Florida State on an 8-0 run for Leonard Hamilton in his 22nd season at Florida State. ACC Coach of the Year last year. An anomaly, several times over for the ACC Coach of the Year. An anomaly last year when they only won 9 games, but they were hit hard with the injury bug.
Injuries, eligibility issues, attrition, everything that could go wrong did go wrong. They did not win their 4th game last year until December 21st. There is deep range.
Darin Green Jr., second year in Tallahassee, started his collegiate career at UCF, and he is a terrific three-point shooter.
One of the elite shooters from bonus land in the country.
Averaging 2.5 per game so far in this season for the Noles, who have won 4 of their first 5. Inside, Chihuahua can't get anything going. Here's Florida State. They had numbers momentarily. Miller picked up by Chihuahua, and now Jackson checking into the game. His turn to fire away. Florida State asking for a foul, hoping for a foul. A travel instead is called. Mike White in his second year in charge of Georgia. He was at Florida, where he went 1-5 against Florida State. Conference of the Year in 3 different conferences, including his last stop at Florida. But he came in, Tom Crean had 0 winning seasons in 4 years. They only won 6 games in Crean's last year, and they got 10 more last season in White's first year.
Pam, I got to tell you, that last foul went the other way. I thought that was going to be a foul on Georgia. Instead, the whistle was on FSU. Now, one of the struggles with playing FSU, they switch everything, 1 through 5. And it's pretty interesting to watch. Georgia's not going to run a lot of offense, I don't think. They're going to emphasize spacing and driving.
Offense has really been a problem for Georgia. Their scoring drought now is over.
I discovered a lump in my neck. That led to a biopsy, which led to the words that no one wants to hear. You have cancer. And in my case, tonsil cancer. So that led to radiation and chemo and a neck dissection. There were many, many dark days. I was not able to go to my father's funeral. But the speech that Jim Valvano kept playing in my head as if he was trying to use his spirit to reach out and hug me. So won't you please donate? Remember, every dollar given goes directly to cancer research. I am a proud member of the V Foundation.
And a great story, and you're right, every single penny that people are able to donate goes to help, and it has helped so many people, so many families. It affects all of us one way or the other. Right now, the University of Georgia trying to get something to go down.
Now, that's nice board work by Moncrief, but I think the officials have got to figure out what the shot clock should be on. There were so many offensive rebounds in a short period of time.
Lee Cassell, Bill Covington, A.J. Desai, our officials this evening in Tallahassee.
So one of the struggles Georgia has had this year, shooting the basketball. Overall field goal percentage, last in the league. 3-point percentage, 12th in the league. Free throw percentage, 9th in the league. Now, that's been one of the struggles. And when we asked Mike White about that today, he admitted he was surprised at how much they have struggled.
A clock issue. So the officials are over at the official scorers table to try to get that taken care of. Georgia for the entire season hitting just 39% from the floor, just 30% from 3. And we have seen them now in a scoring drought that's well over 4 minutes. Mike White trying to draw something up. This is the inaugural ACC-SEC challenge, both on the men's and the women's side. ACC with 3 teams that are ranked. SEC has 5 of them. This is on the men's side.
But Pam, look at those numbers of players on opening day rosters in the NBA between these 2 leagues. They have more than anybody else. And both these leagues pride themselves on getting the ball up and down the floor, with 6 teams averaging more than 80 in the ACC, Miami leading the way. Now, that figure will drop after last night. And then 5 on the SEC side, with Alabama leading the way. How about the Clemson win on the road last night at Alabama? P.J. Hall, the leading scorer in the ACC, had 21. And that high-low action with Hall and Shefflin for Clemson paid dividends all night long.
Right now, the ACC leads 5 games to 4 in this challenge that will conclude tonight.
Pam, if your game starts this late, should you have a first half review? Isn't that like illegal?
Yeah, it certainly will draw things out a little bit. Here's Green, the best 3-point shooter for Florida State. Fell to the floor, but nothing called by the officials.
He doesn't quite have logo range, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, almost Caitlin Clark-like. Melendez tried to get it in to Chihuahua. RJ Melendez started the first 6 games of the year, but has come off the bench the last couple. But you talk about shooting woes. Gosh, Melendez, who was at the University of Illinois, he is 2 for 21
right.
for 3. Really struggling.
I just didn't like that one-handed pass off the bounce, trying to hit a streaking teammate. Be a little more fundamental.
Florida State, a very deep team. Fletcher now in the ballgame along with Nickelberry.
It's good to see Corn in the game.
Absolutely. Corn not getting the start today because he fractured his toe against Colorado, but he has an orthotic in his shoe. Still diving after loose balls, but that is a shot clock violation because the shot attempt did not hit the bucket. Cameron Corn.
That's interesting because I thought the attempt hit the underneath side of the rim.
Going to be judicious with Cam's minutes tonight. Sophomore forward from Allen, Texas, and his dad, Richard, played basketball at the University of Georgia for one distinguished guy.
Yeah, we have several of those kinds of stories tonight.
Yeah, a lot of connections with Hugh Durham, who was a head coach for both of these schools. He is in the building tonight. They're honoring him. Blue Kane trying to chase it down for Georgia. Kane, one of the true freshmen on this team. And also a sight for sore eyes for Florida State. Jalen Gainey, number 33, has checked into the game for the first time this year. In fact, the first time since he played at Brown. Got hurt in the preseason last year when he tore his ACL. So he is back and healthy. A grad student from Brown, where he got his degree in business economics, your old major.
Yeah, there's so few of us. But he gives them another body that can operate block to block. That's good work by Melendez getting through the screen.
Shot clock again into single digits.
See, I don't think either team wants to play this way.
Nickelberry got plunked with 1 second left on the shot clock.
So many times we talk about offensive patience. There's also such a thing as defensive patience. Don't be impatient. The reach in, there was only one on the shot clock. There's no reason.
Blue Kane picks up his first personal foul. Kane, the freshman out of Knoxville. 2/3 of his shots this year have been from distance. A lot of newcomers on this team for Mike White.
Newbies. A combination of freshmen and transfers. That's my term. Newbies.
So many transfers now with the portal. Oh, my. This kid can shoot, Darin Green.
It's almost not fair if your three-point expert can also score off the bounce. Here again, straight line drive.
And finally a chance to get some points. That's Justin Hill in off the bench.
Take another look. Crossover. Goes straight up and down. Beautiful balance on his shot. All great shooters pass the 2Q test. I know you work a lot with Debbie Antonelli. She's big into that. The 2Q test is your release quick and quiet? And his is.
Yeah, and they seem to just be perfectly timed. Tomorrow, full evening of ACC, SEC Challenge matchups for women's college basketball. First, it's Missouri and Virginia at 5 Eastern. And then Alabama, Syracuse follows that on the ACC Network and ESPN app. And cap your night with Texas A&M and Wake Forest all coming up tomorrow. Joni Taylor, Texas A&M women's coach, who is the former head coach at the University of Georgia, succeeding the man, the myth, the legend, Andy Landers, who we hope is enjoying his retirement. Georgia trying to get something going. Melendez, but he ran right into Watkins.
That's just taking it too far off the bounce. Just slow down. Those are the kind of unforced mistakes that drive coaches crazy.
Georgia has not hit a field goal in almost 7 minutes. But still only trailed by 6. Florida State not exactly lighting things up themselves. Three-pointers. And there's Bob Miller. He's got one of the threes. Melendez and Kane, a little friendly action, trying to get the rebound.
Now let's watch what I'm talking about. There's a switch early, so there's a mismatch on top. So notice no offense, it's just space and drive. And you got to make that. That's a good feed.
Pretty good look for Kane, but he was unable to hit it. Here he goes. Green can't get it. Bob Miller's follow wouldn't fall, and now a held ball is called. The ACC Huddle preview show right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Talking to people around town. They're all planning on going to Charlotte. Some of them are going to go tomorrow. Make that work on Saturday when they take on Louisville.
I think you're going to have a fast-paced game tomorrow night.
Yeah, we got Florida State and Arkansas women coming your way on ESPN2 here tomorrow night.
They both average about 100 possessions a game.
Yeah, that's pretty good, right?
That is, I'm kidding. Florida State is in the 80s,
yes.
though.
And Arkansas is
really. Take another look at the loose ball. It's just dribbling into trouble. And then Moncrief tries to save it.
Now, we've talked about Georgia's struggles, but Florida State not lighting it up either. These two teams have combined to hit just one of their last 18 shots from the floor.
And Georgia already with 5 turnovers. The good news is they have not been of the live ball pick 6 variety.
It's 5 turnovers and 2 made field goals. Jabri Abdur-Rahim, Sharif's kid with the ball. And another whistle underneath after another Georgia Bulldog miss.
Yeah, I think this time Green was out of bounds trying to save it. Abdur-Rahim has been Georgia's most consistent three-point shooter. He's made 3 or more threes already 3 times this year and has been double figures 5 of 6 games. And the only game he wasn't in double figures was when he had 9 against Providence. We saw Florida State work on that zone on the out-unders at shoot-around today.
So Georgia just having trouble as DeLoach is forced to take a timeout. Victory over Florida. And Kalen and his dad, Rob, in the house.
Love it.
And Florida State, but tonight they said they're all Georgia. They're cheering for Jalen.
Yeah, I was going to ask, where did they get their tickets?
Yeah.
Which school provided the tickets
by
tonight?
Mike Mobley, their incredible sports information director. They're in the Georgia section. Chuck Walsh, also the sports information director of Florida State. We got 2 of the best with us here tonight.
Yeah, Georgia got a wide open look for Blue Kane, who's kind of a three-point specialist. More than 50% of his shots are from bonus land, but so far in his freshman year, just 28%.
Georgia's now missed its last 10 shots.
One of the problems Florida State had against Florida was a lack of ball rotation. They've gotten much better, especially in that win against Colorado.
Yeah, Florida State, their only loss, and they got thumped in Gainesville. Justin Hill bringing it up, a whistle on the shot.
There is a great change of pace by Justin Hill as he attacks. Watch as he brings the ball up the floor. He's evaluating the defense, but watch him kick it into another gear right there. And that's what created and drew the foul, and Hill goes back to the free throw line.
Hill, the senior from Houston, his second year at Georgia, played a couple of years at Longwood, where he was 2-time all-conference player.
Pam, do you think the rim to our right where Georgia's shooting is like a carnival rim?
Yeah, it seems to have something wonky about it.
Hey,
even the free throws aren't going in.
You better be pure if it's going in.
No, Florida State has missed 12 of its last 13 shots. 13-7 midway through the first half. It's a football score. Baba Miller directing traffic. Here's Watkins.
Yeah, he's too good there. He took advantage of the mismatch. He had Hill on him. Hill only 6 feet. Watkins 6'7", the transfer from VCU. Watch again, in and out.
It is.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've done that at the county fair.
Yeah, no stuffed animal for you.
Now I'm dating myself, the county fair.
So going to the free throw line is Jameer Watkins. As you mentioned, a couple of years at VCU.
He's a great fit, though, because, I mean, this system that Leonard Hamilton has almost perfected over the years, their strength is their length, and they're built to defend, and Watkins is certainly filling that category. And take a look at what he did in the last 2 games, including that double-double in the ranked win over Colorado.
Hence the co-player of the week in the Atlantic Coast Conference. 4 straight double-digit scoring games for Jr, who gets a couple in at the line, and now some of that pressure off the made free throws.
I don't know that they cause a lot of backcourt turnovers. I think it's a cumulative effect. They're just not going to give you 47 feet free.
Take some time off the shot clock as well. Noah Thomason.
Yeah, he's a bucket getter.
Nothing but air on that attempt, and Georgia just can't buy one right now.
Yeah, I just don't think you can attack that length east-west. You've got to go north-south, and Thomason was fading away.
Thomason coming off a season-high 24 points and a win over Winthrop. Like the rest of his teammates, struggling today. They're just 2 of 13 from the floor, 15%. That's contact and a foul drawn again by Watkins, who gets to the line the most of any Seminole player this season.
It'll be interesting if they call this a shooting foul or not, because there's no question he passed the ball. But again, I go back to this. It's one of the cornerstones of being good offensively is ball reversal, to move the defense. In that last possession, the ball went from the right to the left. Take a look at how Georgia started and how it's gone since.
Not going so well. Hill checks out. Melendez comes in, so some more length on the floor for Mike White, who told us he still really likes this team. He said they are so consistently trying hard, playing hard in practice, perhaps the best in that area of any team he's ever coached. So they've not gotten down on themselves, even though they're still trying to figure some things out.
But the bottom line, Pam, you got to make shots.
Chiwa comes up with the rebound now for Georgia. Finally, one goes down. It's Abdur-Rahim. And that breaks a drought.
I just love the pass ahead. One of the ways that you can beat a switching man-to-man is get the ball down the floor quickly.
Melendez coming up with the rebound. Coming off the bench the last couple of games. And good defense. Worley got a hand in there to disrupt things. And now Miller. It's a zippy pass over to Watkins. And now a whistle behind the play. And they're going to get Baba Miller for Florida State for the personal foul.
Just kind of threw his man to the ground. Take another look. Bottom part of your screen, jostling for position. Yeah, that's an easy call.
Got him hooked up. Now Leonard Hamilton trying to get an explanation, and quickly Miller goes over to the bench. Again, just a sophomore. Didn't play last year, actually earlier this year, technically. January 11th of 2023, his first game. Suspended for the first 16 games. As there was the NCAA, again, with trying to pay back some money and inconsistencies of their rulings.
Pam, doesn't it feel like Florida State should be up more?
Yes. They're only up by 5, and this is a Georgia team that has only hit 3 field goals all game. And Florida State has gone cold on their end as well. They're a club that Leonard Hamilton says is still trying to find their identity. That time, Abdur-Rahim missed.
What was his line? In flux.
Yes. And that's the most important thing. And they're not getting any offensive rebounds either. That miss by Fletcher. Drive, another whistle. We'll take a timeout.
I mentioned this earlier. If you want to beat the switching man-to-man, make sure the ball beats the defense. The quick outlet, but watch this quick pass ahead. And Abdur-Rahim with the corner 3 beats the defense. Georgia trying to be the hang-around team.
Sunday night, the Huddle crew will have their annual Selection Day special, a 1-hour show that includes breakdowns and analysis of the ACC's bowl-bound teams and their matchups. Coverage starts at 6 Eastern right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Georgia and Florida State fans can't wait for that. This young man, Kalen DeLoach.
Pam, if Florida State wins in football this weekend, they have to be in, don't they? As an undefeated?
Yes, that's right. The top 4 teams are all 12-0. Ohio State losing to Michigan knocked them out of the top 4 and put Florida State in. So that's why we could get that semifinal between the Seminoles and the Bulldogs. Free throws right now, keeping Georgia close. It's only a 3-point game. First points for Noah Thomason, who was at his 4th school. Now some pressure off the made free throws. And the drought is broken for Florida State with authority from Fletcher.
Wow. That's following up smash mouth hoops. See the drive? It's pretty obvious what they're trying to do.
It's good work just to get a shot off. Second chance. Well, off the mark. But yeah, Georgia continuing to just pick up their dribble. They saw 3 Florida State defenders, but let's go back to Fletcher.
Yeah, following up just off the rim. Fletcher knows what to do with it. Averaging almost 8 points a game so far this year, but really struggled in that Colorado game.
Coming back last year, only 10 games, and he tore his ACL.
But came back in 10 months.
Back-to-back baskets now for the Noles. That's Chandler Jackson getting on the scoreboard for the first time. Very quick comeback for Fletcher, leading scorer off the bench this year for the Noles.
So I think Thomason needs to keep shooting the shot. Had a teammate give him a pretty good dish for the 3.
And some good defense underneath that time.
A lot of contact.
Mary not called for the personal foul, and now Melendez finally an easy look. Good assist from Thomason.
Again, it's all about the drive and dish in terms of attacking, not allowing Florida State to switch.
Both teams shooting in the 20s percent-wise. Shiwa.
He gives them a big body, doesn't he?
Yeah, 7 feet tall. And his 3rd school, graduated and now playing his final year at Georgia. Melendez with a nice change of pace and is able to get it.
High degree of difficulty through traffic. Good finish by Melendez.
Yeah, a guy we had mentioned earlier struggling with his shot coming off the bench for a 2nd straight game. It's just 1 of 10 in his last game against Winthrop, including 8 threes that he missed. And the drive by Worley doesn't get the friendly bounce, and another board for Chihuahua.
Numbers.
Drive with the left hand, didn't fall for Demary, but he got fouled.
Again, it's all about driving the basketball. They're having success. Watch as they bring it up the floor. Thomason gets feet in the paint, but a great Kansas cut by Melendez in the finish. And speaking of Melendez, how about this high degree of difficulty, slicing between defenders off the window. And Georgia, for the first time, feels like they've got a little bit of offensive flow.
Freshman Demary at the free throw line. First true freshman to start a season opener for Georgia since 2019. And now Coach Hamilton trying to get some fresh bodies on the floor, including Baba Miller. That's with his style and pace of play. You will see guys just go for certain stretches.
Yeah, no question about it. Leonard Hamilton was talking to us today about Trent Forrest, one of the greats here, and he admitted that he could only play about 24 minutes a game. I promise you, there's not many players that would admit, hey, Coach, I can only go 24.
And not many who would be okay with that,
right.
certainly. It's almost like hockey line changes. You got to get them in there quickly because they have to go full bore the entire time they're on the floor.
Really nice.
Nickelberry wide left. Rebound taken down by Demary, who's had a nice stretch here for the last couple of minutes, and that's going to be another foul on Miller. How about with 4 rebounds, 3 points?
What did Leonard Hamilton tell us his #1 concern was about this game? Transition threes.
Right.
And we've seen that today. That's 2 on Baba Miller. There's just no reason to make that foul. You've got to know the value that you bring to your team. And when you make a foul like that, you're going to the bench as you take a look at some blanks being fired.
Miller sitting down now with those 2 personals. A lot of potential for him. Kane. Rescued at midcourt by Demary, and then an offensive foul.
Yeah, just extended that arm a little bit too much. Cannot dislodge the defender. That's what Demary did. That's a no-no.
Second foul on Demary. Mike White, in his second year at Georgia. Taylor Bowen is in the game, number 10 in white for Florida State, a freshman from Vermont. There he is. Jump stop.
Oh, my goodness.
Georgia wanted the travel, but that's a bucket.
He's almost like a triple jumper, the way he got into the paint.
And Bowen just averaging 2 points a game.
But how about the skill set for a guy 6'10"?
Yeah, very impressive. Deep bench for Coach Hamilton. We approach 3 minutes to go here in the first half. Left wide open, good ball fake. Open just for a minute was Hill, and then he tried the drive and was called for the charge. Justin Hill picks up the foul. Little offensive burst in the last couple of minutes. Florida State up by 4 as we take a timeout.
Back in Tallahassee, the new block charge rule says as a secondary defender, you have to be there in legal guarding position by the time the offensive player plants his last foot. So take another look at the drive that time by Justin Hill. The defender still has his foot up off the ground. Again, that's in slow motion. Watch in real speed how quick of a bang-bang play this is. And that's why my father was an official, and I swore I would never be an official.
That is very, very difficult.
I went to the dark side of coaching.
The offensive foul was called. Pam Ward and Mark Wise joining you tonight, and there's one right off the rim for Darin Green. Last time these two teams met was December 1st, 1981. It's almost 42 years ago.
Yeah, the first time they met was 1951, so let me beat you to the punch.
Do it.
No, I did not do that game.
No. That was so long ago. The last time they played, Dominique Wilkins was the leading scorer.
Yeah.
He had 20 points in that game.
I think I've heard of him.
Yeah, I think things worked out well for him.
It's interesting. Taylor Bowen has really given, I think, FSU a kind of an energy shot, if you will, off the bench. There's the all-time series.
Last meeting again, just 2 days short of 42 years. And Dominique Wilkins led Georgia to the victory. Part of this Georgia challenge.
I'm sorry, Pam. Georgia may do a screen on the ball just to get a switch, like right here. But then it's all about driving. They're not. Yeah, it's just space and drive.
And now the shot clock is dwindling quickly down to 5 seconds. Kane has to do something. Must have just kept a toe down. Thomason tried to rescue it, but there's Bowen getting the rebound, bringing it up. One of the true freshmen on this Florida State team.
Tell you what, Pam, you play with energy, rebound the ball, you'll get more minutes.
Yep. Leonard Hamilton likes those kind of guys. Rims out for Jackson. But a call on the rebound.
Yeah, I think this is on Georgia, fighting for inside position, trying to keep Deontay Green off the glass.
Matthew Alexander Moncrief called for his first foul. 6'8" senior out of Toronto. Green goes to the line. Crews have it all covered up the road in Charlotte. The ACC championship football game between Louisville and Florida State. Coverage starts Friday at 3 Eastern with the ACC Huddle Preview Show right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Ball game, 8 o'clock Eastern Time from Charlotte.
Pam, I think the last 2 minutes are really important for Georgia. They've kind of been the hang-around team. They haven't turned the ball over a lot. As a consequence, neither team has shot the ball very well, but that's allowed Georgia to be that hang-around team.
Deontay delivers from the line. Georgia's gone now almost 3 minutes without a score, but still hanging around, as you said, down just 6. Good defense, collapsing. Cut off the drive. And then off glass, it just spins in.
How about the
Justin
hang
Hill?
time? The hang time by Hill.
And off a big 15-point game, a win against Winthrop. Nickelberry out on the perimeter. And that was telegraphed. Here comes Melendez, who runs the court well and slams it down. Jay Melendez off the bench now for the last couple of games for the Dogs. They're only down 2.
Nice job by Melendez reading that. Rule of thumb, fake a pass to make a pass. How about Green again? High degree of difficulty with the 2s.
Darin Green gets the lead back to 4. Thomason cut off by Jackson. Has to reset.
So there's the big little switch. There's the drive.
And there's the foul.
Well, if you're going to throw a guard-to-guard pass, it's got to have some zip on it. Melendez, see his eyes? He read that the whole time. That's an easy finish. And for a team struggling to score, anytime they can get easy points, that becomes bonus points.
This Georgia team has hit 4 of its last 5 field goals, which is remarkable because they only have 7 overall that have gone in the basket.
Yes.
So that means they were 3 of 19 otherwise, I believe. So Noah Thomason, the lefty, has it rim out, rebound. Florida State calls a timeout. We will take a 30-second break. Leonard Hamilton trying to draw something up to get some more points before half. Welcome back to Tallahassee. Waning seconds of the first half. Florida State leading Georgia by 4. And Seminoles calling the timeout.
What was the magic number I gave you earlier in the game?
You said 21 points?
14. 14 was the magic number. Georgia had to keep FSU to 14 points or less. Take another look. And FSU, Georgia's only turned it over 7 times, but more importantly, FSU only has 5 points off turnovers, so more than acceptable for Mike White's team.
That is something that Florida State feeds on.
How about this? A little change of defense. A little 1-2-2 zone.
Mike White switching things up. After the timeout, it's about 6 seconds difference between the 2 clocks.
And then they switch to man, so it's a combo defense.
Florida State's got to go. Nickelberry. A desperation shot. Good defense there by Georgia, as you mentioned, with the switching it up. Melendez from distance. Can't get it to go, but Georgia.
Both teams need to make shots. You know, we asked and talked to coaches, and what do you have to do to defend to win? They say the same thing. We got to defend and rebound. Defend and rebound. No, you don't. You got to make shots.
If you make shots, the rebounding isn't that big of a deal.
Right.
And these two teams continuing to struggle. Georgia made 7 field goals in the first half, just 9 for Florida State. 2 assists total for the Seminoles. Georgia made its first 2 field goals and 4 of its last 5. In between, they missed 15 of 16.
What's interesting to me is the FSU defense that switches 1 through 5. They make you play unscripted. You don't run offense, and Georgia's done a really good job of just keeping it simple, spacing and driving.
Georgia team, boy, that was a blatant hold.
Yeah, tug on the jersey.
Darin Green, that would have been a hold in football for sure, but the officials didn't see it, and the basket went in.
Demary just 2 for 12 from deep on the year, drains that, and Georgia, like they did in the first 20, off to a quick start.
Only down by a point. Drive contact by Chiwa, but no foul called.
The verticality there by the big guy. Georgia, yeah, they had some success beating the defense down the floor. The same spot.
For the lead, but it goes off the rim. Rebound. Taken down by Worley, who did not score in the first half.
Yeah, I understand the FSU system. I just think Baba Miller needs some more shots. And again, it's the quick transition. Even after a make, Georgia is pushing the ball quickly.
Baba Miller hit a 3 early in the first half and has one here early in the second. Talented sophomore. Foul on Deontay Green. There's Demary at the free throw line.
Yeah, that's a pair of three-point plays by Demary. One from beyond the arc and the and one.
Just a 1-point advantage for Florida State. This rebound battled for and a tie-up. And now Chiwa won't let go of the basketball. And the officials literally get down onto the floor. It's Chiwa and Deontay Green tied up. And Green is still on the floor.
Well, we've been talking about football all night. It kind of looked like the officials were trying to figure out who had the fumble. Take another look. 2 guys going after the rebound. I think kind of get tangled up. I thought that looked worse than it was. Now, I'm sure the officials led by Lee Cassell will take another look at this. What we don't know is what was happening in the scrum. Here's another look, better angle. I got to believe if anybody's guilty here, it's Chiwa. And taking a look from that angle, I see a little bit more than I did the first time.
So Chiwa, 7 feet, 245-pounder. His first year playing for Georgia, and indeed the officials are going over to the monitor to try to straighten things out.
Well, if they're talking about flagrant 1, you're usually talking about something that's excessive or unnecessary. If it's a flagrant 2, it's you add in severe, uncalled for, brutal, harsh, extreme. Here's a look from up above. The thing that interests me is that Chiwa actually he had his hands on the ball the whole time. neither player gave up on the play. This will be an interesting decision. I think if anybody's guilty of something excessive, it's Chiwa.
Green was able to grab the rebound on the box out. She was about 3 inches taller than Deontay, and then came over and dragged them both to the floor.
Pam, I got to tell you, I love the way the officials handled this in terms of getting right in, literally, on top of the action to diffuse anything that might go on outside of that.
Got in there very quickly, and no foul was called on the floor, by the way, so just waiting to get word from the official review.
Well, I think anytime all three guys are looking at it, they have the same kind of thought process that we have had here.
Lee Cassell, Bill Covington, AJ Desai huddling up. We'll take another look.
See, I think if anything, this could be a flagrant one on Chiwa.
That angle from the basket, you could see that right arm that seemed to be around Green's neck as Deontay and Chiwa hit the floor. You're getting an explanation now. All right, Mark, what do we got?
Well, they decided a flagrant 2 on Chiwa. So that's 2 shots in the ball. Chiwa is disqualified, but one player from FSU's bench also left that area. So he is disqualified. There are no free throws for that technical. And then we will play on. So Chiwa will be badly missed by Georgia, not from a scoring perspective, but he has rebounded the ball very well tonight. That's a tough call. Again, I understand the takedown looked really bad.
So Chiwa exits. As you mentioned, he's their leading rebounder on the season. Has not scored tonight, but a big body inside as he exits.
Yeah, one of the players on the bench for Florida State, Max Thorpe, came out on the floor. Yeah, he's in the sweat. See, he's on the floor. That's a no-no.
So now here's Darin Green shooting the free throws because of the flagrant 2 on Chiwa.
Why do great free throw shooters miss technical foul shots?
Because no one's on the...
That's exactly right. It's
lane.
different. Free throw shooting is about repetition and confidence. And when there's nobody on the lane, you're changing the repetition part of a free throw. I see it all the time.
Yeah, Green is an excellent free throw shooter, 80%. Goes 1 and 2 on that trip.
Well, now this is going to be important that Deloche for Georgia picks up the rebounding that they're going to miss.
Deloche, just 1 rebound. Started the game, has not even taken a shot. And that went right through Watkins on the inbounds. Georgia looking to tie or take the lead. They led very early in this game before going cold. And Baba Miller stuck his hands in. If that's a foul on him, that's his 3rd. And it is.
Take another look at this out under, Pam, because the player who broke open was wide open. The ball gets deflected, though, and that creates the turnover. But on the cut, Watkins was clearly open.
Yeah, that would have been an easy two without the deflection.
I go back to fake a pass to make a pass.
Deloach just a 50, pardon me, had been 6 of 10 from the line this season before he missed that one. Alba Miller with 3 personal fouls.
Well, you missed 2 free throws. That's like a turnover.
Miller staying out there playing with the 3 fouls. There he is. Worley still looking for his first points tonight.
Much better offense by Florida State.
Miller with a little scoop pass. Good patience underneath by Green. Like a well-executed play that resulted in the basket.
There was everything you want in that possession by Florida State. By far their best half-court possession in this game.
Green now with 4. Made his first career start tonight. And that's thrown away. Trying to get it to Melendez out on the wing.
Here is the half-court possession I was talking about by the Noles. It starts with ball movement, ball reversal, feet in the paint, cut to the basket, find a teammate, score at the rim. Excellent job.
The 4th assist for Florida State in this game. 4 assists on 11 made field goals, and Watkins finds the bottom of the net.
So let's see if Georgia goes back to the same spacing and driving, not allowing the switching defense to take effect.
Melendez down at the baseline calling for the ball, and that's a reach-in on Worley.
Yeah, but if you get faked like that, you're allowed to reach in a little bit. Take another look. A little James Harden-like, isn't it? Back and forth between the legs.
He also got his feet tied up a little bit with Deloach as well. Second foul on Worley. Deloach.
Good kick out.
Thomason. Yep. You see Watkins getting way up into the air to come down with the rebound, going coast to coast just off the rim. Green underneath. And a foul before the shot.
This is where they missed Chiwa in terms of his ability to rebound the ball, especially on the defensive end.
Since the ejection, Florida State has gone on a 5-0 run. Chiwa called for a flagrant 2 and ejected from the game. Starting center for this Georgia team. Deloach goes to the bench. Kane is coming back in.
It's almost like a line shift for Georgia.
Dor Rahim wants to be a broadcaster when his playing days are over. He heads to the bench. 20 seconds to shoot. Out there on Watkins. Now shot clock into single digits. Chandler Jackson able to get the shot up and was fouled. So Florida State on a bit of a run now as we take a timeout in Tallahassee.
ACC, it just means more.
Let's play ball. Let's go! is going to be a battle, and we could not be more excited.
This is just spectacular.
The SEC is the best conference in the country.
Winner take all.
And the inaugural ACC-SEC Women's Challenge does indeed continue tomorrow. We will be back here in this building. Arkansas, Florida State on ESPN2 at 7 Eastern in the ACC. 3-1 right now. And I know those Tennessee girls were talking about how the best. How about Tennessee losing to Notre Dame today? The Irish with 3 starters unavailable because of injury, and they still were able to beat Tennessee in Knoxville.
I know you're pretty high on this FSU team that you're going to have tomorrow night.
Yeah, Brooke Wyckoff and Nia Latson, the National Freshman of the Year, back again. So some exciting times. And we will have Arkansas, Mike Neighbors' team coming in here tomorrow, and ESPN tomorrow at 9 Eastern. Virginia Tech, LSU.
There's the link.
Of a Final Four.
Excuse me, Pam. There's the link that I was talking about. Sometimes it shows up in steals, sometimes in deflections.
Is neither team right now, especially with Shiwa out of the game, not a true post presence, right, in the old traditional sense?
Correct. Good point by you. So it's a bunch of power forwards playing against each other. I think it's kind of a danger zone. The first danger zone that really Georgia has faced.
This 8-point lead matches the biggest of the game for Florida State, and just when they needed it, Noah Thomason able to knock down the 3 ball.
That's just great recognition by Justin Hill late in the possession to set up the Thomason 3. See if Florida State can build off their offense that I talked about in the last segment. That's isolation.
Kane unable to come up with it, but the rebound, Melendez, who had 6 rebounds in the first half, which tied his career high for rebounds in a game. Hill with the miss. Melendez kept it alive. Melendez rims it out.
Great activity, though. The best threes oftentimes come about after offensive rebounds. That's a charge. There wasn't any doubt about that. That's even a primary defender in transition, and Watkins just kind of ran over him. Take another look. Coming right at you. Thomason holds his ground. See both feet. He's facing the offensive player. He's the primary defender. Legal guarding position. There's a fine line there when in transition, whether you're the primary or secondary defender. That's the second time Melendez has been open on that Kansas cut. I call it a Kansas cut because they did it better than anybody else I've seen. Watch out. Watch out.
It had been an 8-point lead, and now it's down to just 2. Kane gets his first points. And 4 personal fouls, by the way, now on Jameer Watkins, who just was called for the charge on the last trip down for the Seminoles. Green, smooth.
That is a tough 2, though, isn't it? He has made some tough 2s tonight.
Yeah, you're right. The guy who is known for his 3-point shooting. Higher percentage tonight, 5 of 11 overall.
Georgia's gotten on a roll here lately, the last couple of possessions. Why? The 3 ball. I love this kick out. Get feet in the paint, find your shooter. Thomason knocks down the 3. And then after an offensive rebound, ball reversal, make the extra pass. Blue Kane. See the seams on the ball rotating beautifully? And that gets everybody on the Georgia bench up.
Blue, by the way, not his given name. His given name is Christian, but Blue is his nickname. His father was a golfer at Duke.
Duke, as in Blue Devils.
As in Blue Devils. So hence Blue Kane. His mom was a terrific basketball player at George Washington, Mariah Lonergan. So good bloodlines for Blue.
You got to get the ball away from the sideline.
Drive. Offensive rebound. Nice job.
Ansel Amibe working the offensive glass. Kind of has had a lesser role so far this year, but in the absence of Chiwa, he may get more minutes. And as I talked about earlier in the first half, you want more minutes, do the little things. Impact winning in other ways other than scoring.
And he is 6 feet 10 inches tall. Crews have the ACC football championship all over it in Charlotte. It's before the Louisville, Florida State football game starting Friday at 3 Eastern. ACC Huddle preview show on the ACC network and the ESPN app, and you see all the other programming. 8 o'clock Eastern time and kickoff in Charlotte on Saturday. Florida State with the win should stay in the top 4, get into the playoffs. They could match up with Georgia.
Does Louisville have a shot?
I don't think so.
Okay. I like putting you on the spot. I see you kind of cringe there when I asked you.
Yeah, I'm usually not very good at this kind of stuff, or else I'd be living in a bigger house. But
well said. Very well said.
It's going to be, and for Georgia, they're in the SEC championship football game against Alabama. Neither of those teams met. We're going to see in those championship football games, they did not meet in the regular season this year. Green, a little bit short. DeLoach comes up with the rebound. And here come the Dogs, only down 3.
It seems to me like sometimes FSU passes up shots to take a tougher shot. And again, there's the quick response in transition.
And the good fake as well. Leonard Hamilton looking on. Had a chance to speak with him this afternoon. He talked about how they're still trying to find their identity. Said he had some coarse conversations over the last few days with his players.
That was an interesting phrase he used, wasn't it?
Talking about trying to find the identity and be consistent. We talked about how they beat Colorado. And by the way, this is insane. Florida State has won 14 straight overtime games, which is by far an NCAA record.
I've never even, I can't even fathom that. If you were 500 in overtime games, it would be really good. Demary misses both free throws.
Yeah, they've had some trouble at the line, but yeah, 14 straight overtime wins, including that victory over Colorado. Colorado in the top 20. 8 straight overtime win against top 25 teams right there. That's crazy, but it's driving Leonard Hamilton crazy. Yes. They played so well against Colorado, and then against Florida, they did not, let's say. And he wants to see some consistency. They tried the alley-oop. It doesn't work.
Yeah, Gainey did not look comfortable there.
Jalen Gainey coming back from a knee injury. First game of the season, and count it, as Georgia attacks the basket with Justin Hill.
The creativity. Watch this finish on the right side with his left hand underneath the 2 shot blockers. Take another look. How crafty was that finish for the and one opportunity?
Justin Hill, 6 points off the bench. Gets a 3-point play. Coming off a season-high 15 points in Georgia's last game against Winthrop. And we are all tied up. Florida State led by 8 here in the second half. They've been outscored by 4 in this half.
We talk about FSU rolling through players with their depth. Mike White has done a really good job of getting Thomason as well as Hill blows during the course of the game.
And trying to keep them fresh, keeping up with this fast pace. Green hits it.
He has the green light at any point in time.
Good antidote to stop a streak. The second 3 of the evening, and now the rebound.
I'd look for Green in transition here.
Miller, baseline, got it.
Now this time, FSU's offense in transition beat the Georgia defense down the floor.
6-0 run after Georgia tied it at 37. DeLoach in a precarious position when he got the pass. The ball stays with Georgia, but 3-ball again, the friend for the Seminoles.
Well, the Seminoles, who have struggled here in the second half scoring. But first, Darin Green with his 1,000th career made three over his career. And then Baba Miller knocks down his third 3-ball tonight. Home team up 6.
Welcome back. The inaugural ACC-SEC Men's Challenge underway here. Florida State up by 6. And some news and notes. Kentucky with that convincing win against Miami, who got to the Final Four last year. And North Carolina holding off Tennessee to win that game by 8. And some upsets as well. Georgia Tech upsetting Mississippi State. Same for Clemson over Alabama, and Virginia taking out A&M.
Yeah, the big surprise to me, I think, was Clemson winning at Alabama. And in the second half, I think Clemson was 1.6 points per possession. That's really off the charts.
Wow.
Good.
Right now, Arkansas is beating Duke by 10. Still plenty of time left to go in that men's game.
Pam, that first graphic we had, you just don't go into Rupp and win.
Yeah, right.
And you don't go into the Dean Dome and win.
Yeah.
Again, Justin Hill, I talk about Mike White giving him a breather here and there along with Thomason, and it's paid dividends.
Yeah, Justin Hill has given them some really good minutes off the bench. Too strong off the board. Demary with the emphatic rebound. DeLoach, though, couldn't handle the outlet cleanly. He's looking for some help. Green with the defense. Miller got a hold of it from behind. And Baba goes down as he was clipped by Abdur-Rahim.
Yes. If this were football, we would call that an illegal block. I like the activity. Right now, it seems like Georgia's the quicker team to the ball. That's a pretty good look. And the ball comes out. Miller's quickly there.
Miller seems to be all right.
And I keep looking at these points off turnovers. FSU only has 8. So Georgia doing what I thought they needed to do to be the hang-around team.
Florida State leading ACC in turnovers. Averaging about 21 points a game off of them, but keeping it down tonight. And there's another foul.
Yeah, I just don't like that foul, that aggressive 40 feet from the basket. And you put FSU at the free throw line because that was team foul number 7.
So both teams in the bonus.
And Fletcher hasn't been there many times this year, just 2 for 5.
It is freshman year for Kentucky. Transferring over to Florida State. Perfect.
FSU, as they have the entire game, when they score, they pick up 94 feet. They'll deny the inbounds. And then it's basically token pressure, but they're going to make you work to get it up.
Emery's had the ball in his hands a lot. There's Melendez. Goes in on the baseline to jam it home. Jay Melendez doing work on the boards and getting some points as well, coming off the bench now for Georgia.
He needs that because he had been struggling here lately.
Green with the basket, count it. Well, Deontay will be heading to the free throw line.
Nice little pocket pass to finish this play inside to Deontay. Watch the pass right there. That's a great catch by Deontay Green, and that's that new rule that we talked about. defender was not there, but by the time that Deontay Green left the floor with that last foot.
Foul was on Demary, so Darin Green with the assist to Deontay Green, and no, they are not related. Darin grew up in Charlotte, Deontay from Asheville, both North Carolinians, but no relation.
Well, you can't leave him open. Wow.
Thomason, that's a rare bad miss for Noah.
He was wide open. So you probe, now ball reversal, now get into your offense.
And there's a mismatch underneath. And now Hill finally switches over because Deontay Green was on him with a significant height advantage, and there's a hole. Deloach got too much.
And Pam, these fouls are going to add up quickly on Georgia. Remember, they're playing the second half without Chiwa, who was ejected from the game. There was a pass that Baba Miller made from the corner to the post player that only a guy his size can make, because he just kind of looked at the defender and threw over him.
Miller at 6'11" and just a sophomore. And again, there are some NBA scouts in the building. And this young man has already drawn a lot of interest. Some good experience with the under-19 Spanish team in the World Cup Championships this last summer in Hungary, and got the news that he's going to train with the senior national team, and that's going to be a great experience for him.
I think when Baba Miller realizes he could be great, that'll be a good day.
Yeah.
I think he is just figuring out how good he can be.
We asked Leonard Hamilton about it. He said he just has all the skills. Whatever you want, he has it. And he also has a high basketball IQ, so Coach Hamilton also believes the sky is the limit for him. 9-point advantage for Florida State.
And Georgia's kind of answered the call all night when being down.
This is the biggest lead of the game. Melendez can't get the three to fall. Rebound taken down by Fletcher.
Not complicated, but very successful in getting a quality look.
Here's Miller, of whom we just spoke, working on Melendez, got it stripped, and it came right into the hands of Fletcher.
Miller's going to want an assist on that.
Yeah. He was the last Seminole to touch it before Fletcher put it in the hoop. And Florida State now up 11, their biggest lead of the game.
Take another look. Last score. Baba Miller, he'll want an assist for this. But check out the quick hands, and it goes right into the hands of Fletcher, who scores. And FSU up double figures for the first time.
Welcome back to Tallahassee, where we remind you Sunday night the Huddle Crew has its annual Selection Day special. 1-hour show includes breakdowns and analysis of the ACC's bowl-bound teams and their matchups. Coverage starts at 6 Eastern right here on the ACC Network. And the ESPN app, count it, for Corn.
That's a great look ahead that time by Darin Green. We have complimented Georgia's ability to transition offense. This time it's FSU. Bring the ball up the floor, evaluating the defense. He found his teammate, open Corn, ahead of everybody, delivered on point.
Foul on Anselm Ebay. Corn coming off the bench today, limited minutes after he fractured a toe in the first half of the win against Colorado, playing with an orthotic in his shoe. Much needed three by Abdur Rahim.
Yeah, he lives in that corner. You cannot help same side. Oh. Quick and quiet.
Technically beautiful shot, too, that goes down for Darin Green. to get the lead up to 14.
Georgia had just made a 3. And there's the answer.
And there's the turnover.
Find him. Yep. Watch out. Watch out.
Back-to-back threes for Darin Green. He's got 21 tonight. That is a new season high for him. And more importantly, it's now a 17-point advantage. Kane can't hit from 3. Rebound. Taken down by Corin.
One of the elite three-point shooters in the country is Darin Green Jr. from Charlotte. All he needs is just a little bit of space. Watch the seams on the ball, whether in the half court or in transition. Find your shooter. Green delivers again. One of the most prolific three-point shooters in the country is Darin Green Jr. of Florida State, knocking down not 1 or 2 or 3, but 4 3 balls in this game. It's the 4th time this year already he's made 3 or more in a game. Over 1,400 career points, and one of just a few players to have as many career-made threes as Green has made. So, how about the 5th most in terms of active players with 21 tonight?
He had 91 of them last year, up to 315 in his career.
You know, if I were his teammate, what I would tell him? If you can see the rim, shoot it.
Yeah, really.
That's it.
Yep.
If you can see it, shoot it. Let it go. The ultimate green light.
For Darin Green Jr., who has been terrific here at Florida State, getting some separation in this game that actually had been tied, but it's a 16-3 run of the last 2.5 minutes. Taking a look at to make sure that the clocks are where they should be, and we see Watkins back in the game. Jameer Watkins, number 2 for Florida State, left about 7.5 minutes ago when he picked up his 4th foul, and since then Florida State has extended their lead. Watkins, their leading scorer, rebounder, and assist man this year, coming into this game. Deontay Green turns around, and here's Melendez. Giving him some good minutes tonight. Near turnover, and then the drive results in another foul.
It's been the same MO for Georgia and Mike White all night long. They've had some success with it because they have certainly taken the switching man-man defense by Florida State out of play. So they've spaced and driven the ball.
Demary at the line. He is now 2 for 4, but Georgia not helping itself at the free throw line this evening. Just now 9 of 18, 50% for them.
Yeah, here's another example of Mike White rotating those guards through, Hill in, Thomason out.
Demary just 1 of 2 on that trip, but Melendez, a lot of activity, just diving in there and got fouled on the rebound.
That's just great work. There's a lot of want to offensive rebounding, especially in a free throw situation.
Melendez now with 9 rebounds. He had 6 of them in the first half. Got a nice contingent of fans opposite us who have displayed the Puerto Rican flag. Melendez has played on some Puerto Rican teams. He grew up down there, Arecibo, Puerto Rico. Nice energy off the bench last couple of games.
Now here's Georgia down the floor a little bit with pressure.
Green bottled up in the corner, in trouble. And then the chancy pass is intercepted by Demary.
Well, that's what you want. Now convert on the other end.
Raheem!
Oh, my goodness.
Couldn't have called for it any better. You get the turnover and then the three. That's the lead back to 11. And been as high as 17. Watkins checked by Raheem, went by him, met Deloach, and then the follow by Deontay Green.
I think that's a new career high now for Deontay Green, who's put 3 double-figure games together.
Melendez had it rim out. Miller gets taken down this time after he tipped the ball over for a rebound.
I think the initial ruling here is a double foul based on what I saw A.J. decide. But, of course, they'll go take a look at it.
It's Baba Miller and Jalen Deloach who got tied up that time. Earlier in the game, we had Russell Chiwa, the starting center for Georgia, ejected from the game after a tie-up on a rebound.
This is weak side. Arms get tangled. It looked like Deloach was the first one to kind of grab Miller's arm, but the immediate sign by A.J. Desai was double foul. They might just leave it at that.
And so the officials going over to the monitors.
Miller had tipped the ball out, and their arms kind of get tangled up. I don't know who you could say, if a hook and hold was involved, which one did it. Take another look. Deloach. See, he's got his arm there, though. I think Deloach's right hand grabs Miller's left arm. So don't be surprised if this is a hook and hold. Of course, I'm not batting very good tonight, so. I think they're going, my first thought was double foul, let it go.
So it is indeed a double foul. 4th foul for both Deloach and for Miller. Check that. That is the 5th on Miller, pardon me. So Baba Miller has fouled out of this basketball game, goes out with 9 points and 5 rebounds. It was indeed the 4th on Deloach on the other side for Georgia. As we approach 5.5 minutes to go in the game.
Too much time and not enough of a lead to take the air out of the ball yet. Run your stuff.
Florida State gives it up, and then the foul.
Now this is a double whammy. Commit a turnover and then foul in transition.
Foul on Worley.
I don't think Leonard Hamilton's very happy. I think he wants a timeout.
He takes one.
I thought the pass down low got deflected, and that's what created that whole situation. Sometimes I'm amazed at how players don't see the defender right in front of them.
Coming up tomorrow, another full evening of ACC SEC Challenge matchups for women's college basketball. First, Missouri will take on Virginia at 5 Eastern time. Then it's Alabama-Syracuse. And then cap your night off with Texas A&M Wake Forest. That's all on the ACC network and the ESPN app. ESPN2 at 7 Eastern tomorrow. We'll have Florida State taking on Arkansas.
I might tune in.
You might. I know you got some stuff going on.
Maybe. There's Hugh Durham. Great look.
Yep. Hugh was the legend, was honored here at halftime.
And if you're just joining us, Georgia's been to one Final Four, coached by Hugh Durham. Florida State's been to one Final Four, coached by Hugh Durham.
Yes, the common thread. And Hugh Durham was also a tremendous basketball player here at Florida State. First time again that these two teams have played since December of 1981. That's a long time ago.
Who was the leading scorer in that game again?
Some meek guy, Dominique Wilkins. And it wasn't even a senior. It was an underclassman in that game.
I think people forget Georgia in '83 was that fourth team in the Final Four. We talked so many times about Jim Valvano and that miracle win against Houston. It was Georgia that NC State defeated in the semifinals.
Shot clock winding down, and with 3 seconds left, Worley drew the foul.
Yeah, Worley's really struggled tonight, especially shooting the basketball, but he was so good in that win over Colorado when he had 19, including the very first basket in overtime, which kind of got Florida State going again because they kind of gave up the lead down the stretch.
Big win over a ranked team. Worley's 19 points, a season high. He had 16 of them after halftime, including 5 in overtime. Jalen 0 for 7 from the floor tonight, has contributed 6 rebounds and 3 assists. Still looking for his first points. This is his first trip to the line.
Yeah, has a unique shooting style, kind of harpoons it at the basket. Very stiff with his arms. Watch the release.
Looks like a little hitch in it, and yeah, you're right. And he is only a 64% free throw shooter. That's gone down. And the bucket for Anselm Ebe.
There's that early transition again. See, that's going to be intercepted. That's just a bad read.
And Melendez is really fast down the floor.
Okay, don't look now.
And Melendez has gotten himself a double-double. Only the second of his career. He had one last season against Minnesota when he played with Illinois.
Deontay Green never got set on the screen. Sometimes, though, that's the ball handler's fault for going too soon, not allowing your teammate to come out and set a screen for you. Take another look. Does the guard take off too early? Yeah, a little bit. Let your big guy get set.
You got to give Georgia a lot of credit. This is a team that was just down.
Here we go.
17 points, and they're not quitting.
Yeah, down to 5, 2-possession game, inside 4. Game on.
Hill with the bucket. He's into double figures. As we go inside of 4 minutes.
I'm so used to watching Florida State with great rim protectors. Leonard Hamilton told us today that's one of the things that they're trying to figure out.
Up and over for Watkins. It's an 8-0 Georgia run. A ball game in Tallahassee. ACC men's basketball is presented by Continental Tire, the smart choice in tires. Georgia was down 17 points, and since then they've caught fire.
Whether it's in transition, shooting the 3 ball, or getting to the rim before the defense gets set, or the ability and the creativity of Justin Hill, Georgia has found a rhythm late in this game, and what looked like a game that was going to be spread out has not done so. And take a look at what FSU has done in the last 2 minutes after taking such good care of the basketball the first 33 minutes.
Usually Leonard Hamilton is the team that's turning you over and converting on that, but Georgia has more points off turnovers than Florida State.
That shocks me.
Not what we saw coming in, or foresaw coming in, but that's why they play the game. Now some pressure off or out of the timeout.
Yeah, different look. A little 2-2-1, back to a man.
Demary, the true freshman, he's been relentless attacking the rim, and he'll have another chance at a three-point play.
Again, watch the way that Demary takes away space of the defender, goes into all the shot blockers, and specifically Jalen Worley for the and-one opportunity. The defender, you need space to operate too. You've got to get off. Keep the guy in front of you. If he jumps up and makes a shot, then say, way to go.
Demary with the three-point play. He now has 15 points, so a new career high for the young freshman. And most importantly, we got ourselves a two-point game.
Absolutely.
Since that 17-point advantage, Florida State has only scored 2 points, while Georgia's gone on a huge run. 17-2 to be exact, including 11-0. And Melendez tried to buy a call, and he got it.
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with this. This is the point A to point B emphasis. The driver is going into the lane. Yeah, I don't think that's a charge. Melendez does a great job of selling it, but he's not there.
Fletcher whistled for the foul on what looked like a flop, but now Georgia can tie or go ahead after trailing by 17 here in the second half. It was 61-44. FSU.
They got what they wanted. They got what they wanted.
Abdur-Rahim knocking down the three.
Mike White was trying to orchestrate players in the right spot. He wanted Abdur-Rahim to be the screener and then get the pass back.
Watkins runs into a lot of trouble. A good cleanup, however, by Green.
And just outside the 2-minute mark, so they cannot take a look at this.
Georgia's last lead before Abdur-Rahim's three ball was when they were up 5-3 way back when in the first half.
See if they run the same set with one black. No, he's going to the corner. Boy, what a great call that was. I think Mike White wants a timeout.
Yep, to get some things figured out. But this is a team that Coach White told us before the game he really liked him. The mantra, let's get better today. Let's keep attacking today. And we have seen that. A lot of teams down 17 in the second half would have called it today.
Here's the screen by Abdur-Rahim and the throwback. So many times the guy that's open is where the ball came from. And that's a good job. And then on the offensive glass on the other end, it's Darin Green expanding his new career high. The Bulldogs looked dead in the water about 5 minutes ago.
And they were able to, in about 4 minutes and change, take the lead. And subsequently taken back by Florida State, but Georgia, who are 3-3 on the season, playing a tough schedule. They had a summer trip to Italy that Coach White has said really helped as far, first off, you get extra practice, right? And the team gets to bond together, a lot of new faces, but this is impressive on the road.
You had me at Italy.
Yes. And we heard that they ate well, which I'm sure is 0% surprising, but what a comeback for the Dogs. Starting to turn Florida State over. They have hit their last 5 shots.
Yeah, there's the updated scoreboard in your upper right screen. ACC with 7 wins, so they need one more somewhere along the way in these late games.
Virginia Tech trailing Auburn. Duke is losing to Arkansas.
So they need this one, is what you're saying.
Yeah, right now, it appears this is the team that has the best chance. We just have a 1-point ball game.
In these situations, who's willing to take and who's willing to make big shots?
Justin Hill caught up. Good defense by Green. Shot clock now dwindling to 5 seconds. The drive by Demary short. And Green, Deontay comes away with a huge rebound.
Yeah, not a quality look.
And certainly coming out of a timeout. Green readjusted his knee brace while he was coming up the floor after the big rebound. Worley inside.
Back to him. Yep, there he is.
Wide open. Green, short. Melendez with another huge rebound. He is in double digits.
Sorry, Pam. That was a quality look.
Hill drives. Contact, no foul. Follow, nothing doing. But a whistle. And a foul on Florida State.
Take another look. It's not on the first shot. That was verticality right there. It's on the second shot. Had to have been down low.
Jameer Watkins has just fouled out of the basketball game. 7 points tonight, just 2 of 10 from the floor. The leading scorer during the season takes a seat. And enter Chandler Jackson.
Big free throws here for Anselm Ebay. Oh, that roll you would never get at the carnival.
Tie game.
2-for-1s come into play down the stretch.
Got them both. Georgia bounces back on top with just under 57 seconds left to go.
If not Green, who takes a shot for Florida State?
We're going to discuss just that. Another timeout taken by the Noles. They are down to 1. Georgia also has 1. Both teams in the bonus.
FSU points off turnovers tonight as you take a look at our game reset. Both teams with a single timeout, no fouls to give. Double bonus for both. But I said the magic number was 14, and it's 11.
Yep. And the number even magical, more magical for Georgia. They've scored 17 points off of Florida State turnovers, in part a reason for this comeback. Again, down 17 points. So what stages here of the second half? So what do we see?
Well, what that means is Georgia has not allowed Florida State's defense to help its offense. They've made Florida State into a half-court scoring team, and that's really not their gig right now. They're still trying to figure out their roles. So if I'm Florida State, obviously everybody in the building knows that Leonard Hamilton would love Darin Green to get a shot. I promise you, Mike White and his coaching staff are going over that in their huddle. I would like to run something where I've got the ball being driven to the basket with Green on the same side. So if his man stays hugged out on him, which he should, that should open up a driving lane.
Darin Green Jr. has been spectacular, 4 of 8 from distance tonight, leading everybody with 21 points.
And it's got to be all hands on deck in terms of the glass.
Fletcher with the inbound. quickly to Jackson. Here's the screen from Darin Green, now with the ball.
They try to get him open on a flare.
Defense by Melendez to keep him out by the logo. Jackson with the drive, kept it short, tip won't go. Green for the second time, too tall, but a foul.
So many times it's not the first shot, it's the second shot that beats you. Tough look here by Jackson, but Deontay Green, who just seems to have a knack for the ball on the offensive glass, that's a foul. That's obvious.
So Deontay Green. Five for 5 from the line tonight.
Which is odd because he came into the game just 50%. You cannot simulate these kinds of free throws in practice.
Green for the tie. Does just that.
Shot clock off.
And Georgia has a timeout, but they have elected not to take it until they cross midcourt. Mike White wants it. He gets it with just under 20 seconds left to go.
I think if I'm Mike White, I'm going to do what's been successful all day long in terms, or all night long. Space the floor out wide, make sure that Abdur-Rahim is one of those corners, and then I'm going to let Justin Hill operate one-on-one and create either for himself or others. Now, timing becomes a big issue here because you do not want to go too soon. The worst case scenario, if you're Georgia, is you want to go into overtime. For Florida State, you have got to keep Justin Hill in front of you.
Georgia has hit 5 of its last 7 field goals. As you take a look at the reset, trying to come back from 17 points down to get this win in Tallahassee. And not just down 17, but with 6.5 minutes left.
And looked like they had nothing going.
Nope. 22-5 run. And here's Melendez about to inbounds. Fans on their feet here.
See, I wouldn't let Hill dribble it. I'd run another player at him.
He is waiting. Makes his move with about 8 seconds left to go. Melendez is out at the top of the key. Hill for the win. Got it! Still a second and a half left. And the Georgia Bulldogs down 17 with 6.5 minutes left to go with an incredible comeback capped by the game winner by Justin Hill.
Well, that's the guy I would have put the ball in his hands. He creates for himself. They ran a little false action on top, but it was Hill who delivered at the end. Created enough room and separation to have a clean look at the basket. Take another look. He times it beautifully, waits until there's about 8 seconds to go. There's a little confusion. He's switched out on Fletcher, the crossover. See the space he had to get the shot off? Lots of room and a sensational comeback by the Bulldogs on the road.
Justin Hill nailing the shot. He finishes with 13 points. And Mike White said that this is the hardest playing team he's ever had as far as practicing hard, practicing consistently. They're down 17 with 6.5 to go when they win the ball game.
And I believe, if my math is correct, and Arkansas holds on, and they're in a 3-point game, I think, late in the game. But I think this inaugural ACC SEC challenge will finish 7-7.
So what a win for the Georgia Bulldogs, a team that 2 years ago won 6 games.
Right.
And then Coach White last year, they won 16. So many new faces trying to work in and stick with. And boy, did they ever. And this is now our player of the game, brought to you by Continental Tire. It's got to be Justin Hill.
Yes, of course it does. The game winner took it with confidence.
Finished 5 for 10 from the floor, gets the game winner. And what a win for this Georgia Bulldog squad. And they will head home to play a game on Friday. Florida State has to go to North Carolina for their ACC opener, but what a win for the Dogs. So,
partner, I enjoyed it. I hope your game tomorrow night is just as exciting.
it was all Justin Hill. Coming up next, nothing but net. They're going to break down this game. We didn't have many offensive fireworks at all for like the first 3 quarters of this game, and then Georgia really turned it on. For Mark Wise and the rest of our great crew here in Tallahassee, I'm Pam Ward, as we say so long